So what's up guys, I'm Black Ops Amazing, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the one returning in MAUER Toten. The whole story in our next map is going to revolve around the Nazis returning from the Dark Ether, coming back to the heart of Germany, Berlin. But who is the bigger power at play? In our previous timeline, Black Ops 4 and before that, it was Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man who were the higher powers. But now in Cold War Zombies, since they were banished to the Dark Ether, we have someone we've heard of called the One. We've seen little hints towards their existence. The very first one we had was all the way back when this game released in November. On the Staircase of the Machine, it mentions the One rising again. And then since then in Season 1, 2, 3 and now 4, we've had pieces of intel documents, radios that mention him now and again. And it seems like finally, after all this build up, months later, well, we're finally about to see who this is in our next Zombies map, which comes next month. So to try and build up a picture and an idea of who the One is, along with the main story in MAUER Toten, I first want you guys to listen to a radio from Zykov, who we know is a character trapped within the Dark Ether. He's been in there ever since the 1940s. We saw him in the D Machine intro cutscene. He was the Russian tank soldier who was sent in to shut down the cyclotron, and upon doing so, he became trapped within the Dark Ether. So Zykov's been in there for 40 years, and during his time, as you would imagine, he's witnessed various different strange things. He's seen zombies, creatures of the Dark Ether, and he's also heard of, but not seen, the One. But in this radio, he tells us what we all know by now, which is that there is a horde of Nazis gathering in the Dark Ether. They have been ever since the 1940s, during the end of World War II, as the Nazis were about to lose the war. Hitler, in one last ditch attempt to save the Reich, told all of the remaining Nazis to hide in the Dark Ether, and then one day when they built up a big enough army, they would escape and start a new world war. And that's exactly what's been happening.
The people you answer to, the ones giving you orders, surely they are beginning to realize what you are up against. There is indeed an army gathering here in the darkness. They have waited even longer than I have to cross into our world. The invasion is at hand. It will happen soon, and in the worst place possible. For all your efforts to keep the Dark Ether secret, that may no longer be an option once this army mobilizes. You have seen their like before. The greatest evil the world has ever known, corrupted by this place into even greater darkness. Warn your people. Make ready. They are coming, and you must stand fast against them.
So, as you just heard for yourself, Zykov tells us there is an army gathering in the Dark Ether, and they've been there even longer than he has. There is an invasion at hand, they are waiting to escape, and it's all going to be happening soon, in the worst place possible, Berlin. So we already know that is the main reason why our next Zombies map is Berlin. The One has been speaking to Valentina, however pretending that he is her father, Dr. Vogel. Vogel was killed back in the 1940s when Valentina was a child. She thinks he is trapped in the Dark Ether, still alive, and so the One is using that situation to manipulate Valentina. He is pretending to be her father, and he's changing his voice to manipulate her. Pretty much the One is saying to her, if you listen to me and you open up a gateway in Berlin, I can escape the Dark Ether and see you again. We can be reunited 40 years later. So Valentina's being manipulated. Since she works for the Omega Group, she's told Omega a different reason why they need to go to Berlin, but the actual reason is so she can open up a gateway and allow the creatures of the Dark Ether, being the Nazis, along with the One, to escape. But both Omega or Requiem aren't fully aware of the situation. Whilst, yes, they know of things that are in the Dark Ether, they know of higher powers, HVTs, they aren't fully aware of the undead Nazis hiding in there and their plan to escape the Dark Ether, and they also aren't fully aware of the One. They know of the Elder Gods, but they don't know for certain that there is someone even more powerful than them. However, Carver, who is a member of Requiem, is starting to become suspicious.
Okay, Mac, okay. Just gotta take a breath now and shake off these jitters. Think it through. Fact. Dark Ether hostiles come in different classes, different threat levels. It's why we're calling some specials, some elites, and some Apex level. Fact. We've seen them work together. attacking us with a mix of offensive capabilities. Reminds me of how we outfit platoons with a range of weapons. Riflemen, snipers, heavy gunners. The others roll their eyes when I point this out, but I know a tactical unit when I see one. And then there's what I saw today while I was waiting in the director's office. It was right there on his desk, face up in his inbox, straight from the DNI. Eyes only. You don't just leave that kind of document lying around. Was he testing me? Anyhow, the memo confirms what I've been trying to warn them about. They know there's a top dog on the other side, some kind of entity in charge of the rest. So why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we making plans to take that damn thing out? Gonna have to play this cool, act like I didn't see nothing. But I sure as hell did.
So as you just heard, even Carver says, this is what I've been trying to warn them about. They know there's a top dog on the other side. Some kind of entity that is in charge of the rest. Speaking more on the one, in season, I think this was season 4 or maybe season 3 Reloaded, there was a cipher that was solved by Scott OAC, and when you decrypt it, it reads, Colonel, the threat is real. The entity hides in the darkest depths of the dark ether. It is waiting for its moment to enter our world and consume it as its own. That is why it seeks to manipulate us, because only we can let it in. Unless we can stop it, it will be our end. I will reach out later. Requiem will have noticed my absence by now. So I'm assuming this is a message from Strauss since the keyword is Strauss and Carver, and Strauss is warning him that yes, there is an entity in the dark ether, something in charge of the rest that's waiting for its moment to escape. It can't do it itself, it is only us that can do that. But well, since neither Requiem or Omega seem to be talking about him much, it is only recently that certain characters have begun to latch onto the idea that there is a higher power, but it may be too late. And then in season 4 we have 2 brand new documents from Zykov. These come over 4,000 days after him becoming trapped there. The first one reads, Day 4513. Since my arrival here, I have gradually come to understand that there is a balance of power among the creatures of this realm. While most of us are consumed with day-to-day survival, the ones at the top of the food chain gather armies of followers and vie for supremacy. These are huge, obscenely powerful entities. I believe their competition goes back eons, but there is one of these elder gods I fear above the rest. Should it gain power, it will reign supreme and look for fresh conquests, and if it becomes aware of my homeland, they will be too busy competing with the West to notice the real danger. The next document reads, Day 4729. I have learned more about the one who seeks to rule this land alone. I don't know why, after centuries of stalemate, this particular creature is suddenly ascendant. I am convinced that should it defeat its rivals, its bottomless appetite for power will not go away, so I must somehow find a way to stop it before it decides that Mother Russia looks like a banquet. To that end, I'm designing a new mechanism I hope will prevent this menace from ever leaving this place. I may go into further detail about how it functions, but first I must gather components, assemble it, and run tests, all without catching the attention of our new overlord. Can one man succeed where the Elder Gods failed? Time will tell. So Zykov is fully aware that in the Dark Ether there is something that looks to rule above all else. There have been centuries of stalemate in the Dark Ether where, yes, there have been Elder Gods, but those Elder Gods have all been, I guess you could say, friendly, or at least not attacking each other. There is a food chain in the Dark Ether, so those Elder Gods will go for things below them, perhaps megatons, manglers, and then those creatures will go for things below them, being the zombies, and then zombies will go for things below them, being humans. But there is one Elder God in the Dark Ether that for some reason, all of a sudden, after centuries, decided it wants to overrule everything. It wants to become the new overlord. And Zykov, knowing this, is attempting to build a mechanism that will hopefully stop this. He doesn't want to allow the one to escape the Dark Ether. So, there we go. In MAUER Toten, it looks like the Nazis will be returning, but the big question is, will the one successfully escape as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. I am super excited for the next Zombies map. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye.